Hello, myself Dr. Bhavna Gamit, Associate Professor in Department of Pathology, Government Medical College, Surat. Today I will teach you glomerular disease. Learning objective of today's lecture: to learn the structure of glomeruli, classification, etiopathogenesis, clinical feature, and laboratory finding of glomerular disease or glomerulonephritis. So first of all, we discuss the normal structure of glomeruli. What is glomeruli? It is the anastomosing network of capillary, and it is covered by two layers of epithelium, visceral and parietal epithelium. Between visceral and parietal epithelium there is a clear space, that is Bowman's space. Bowman's space is the space in which urinary filtrate first collect. So basic structural and functional unit of the kidney is glomeruli. It is a anastomosing network of capillary. Now it is a size and charge dependent barrier. Basic structural and functional unit of glomeruli is glomerular basement membrane. Glomerular basement membrane is made up of three things: endothelial cell, glomerular basement membrane, and epithelial cell. Endothelial cell is fenestrated. It is not continuous lining. So there is a 70 to 100 nanometer fenestration. Glomerular basement membrane is porous. An epithelial cell has a foot process and there is a filtration slit 20 to 30 nanometer in size. So glomerular basement membrane is unique structure. It is size and charge dependent barrier. It allows small particle to pass and it does not allow large particle to pass. It is also charge dependent barrier. It is negatively charged. So it repel the negatively charged molecule and it allow the positively charged molecule to pass. Right? So whenever this glomeruli is damaged, there is a glomerulonephritis. Mainly it is divided in three parts: primary, secondary, and hereditary. Primary glomerulonephritis are disease in which predominant organ affected is the kidney, and there is a list of primary glomerulonephritis: acute proliferative glomerulonephritis, rapidly progressive glomerulonephritis, membranous nephropathy, minimal change disease. This primary glomerulonephritis name is given based on clinical finding such as acute proliferative or rapidly progressive and morphological appearance on light microscopy in kidney biopsy. So membranous nephropathy, minimal change disease, focal segmental glomerulosclerosis, membranoproliferative glomerulonephritis. So these are the primary glomerulonephritis in which kidney is the predominant organ affected. Secondary glomerulonephritis. Here many systemic disease affect kidney secondarily. Most common are systemic lupus erythematosus, diabetes mellitus, and amyloidosis. And few hereditary disorder is also there, such as Alport syndrome, thin membrane disease, and Fabry's disease that affect the glomeruli. Now, how these glomeruli are affected or pathogenesis. Primary glomerular disease are mainly immune mediated disease. In the immune mediated, again it may be antibody mediated, cell mediated immune injury, alternate pathway complement activation, or antibody such as autoantibody like anti-neutrophilic cytoplasmic autoantibody or anti-endothelial cell antibody is responsible. And few cases are also non-immunological mechanism. In that, diabetic nephropathy is metabolically glomeruli are injured. In hypertension, hemodynamic injury, deposition disease such as amyloidosis, various infection, hepatitis, HIV, drugs such as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, and inherited disease such as Alport syndrome. So in the pathogenesis, primary glomerular disease are affected by immune mediated mechanism, and in that too antibody mediated. And in non-immunological mechanism, metabolic, hemodynamic or deposition disease. So now we discuss primary or immune mediated mechanism of injury. Main immune mediated mechanism is antibody mediated. So there is a antibody antigen antibody complex form, and that is deposited in the kidney. It divides in two parts: antibody reacting in situ antigen and circulating immune complex disease. What is in situ antigen? So antigen is present in situ, in the place, in the glomeruli. Now it again divided in two parts: planted antigen. So antigen is not part of glomerular basement membrane, but some antigen plant over that, and antibody form and that bind with antigen, or insoluble fixed intrinsic antigen. In that, some component of glomerular basement membrane become antigenic. Antibody form against that antigen and antigen antibody complex form. So antibody mediated, antibody reacting in situ antigen, and antigen may be planted or intrinsic. Second part is circulating antigen antibody complex. Here antigen is present in the circulation. It is not present in the kidney. Antigen antibody complex form, and that antigen antibody trap in the kidney. This antigen may be endogenous or exogenous. What is endogenous? It is present in the body. So systemic lupus erythematosus, anti-nuclear antibody, or IgA nephropathy. Exogenous means antigen present not in the body, but it is come from outside. Most common is the bacterial product streptococcal antigen. Patient suffered from streptococcal infection of the throat or skin. Streptococcal antigen form the antibody, and this antigen antibody complex trap in the kidney, and it produces glomerular disease. Or various viral disease such as hepatitis B, hepatitis C, plasmodium infection, Treponema pallidum infection. These all antigen form antibody, and antigen antibody complex deposited in the kidney. Now they are deposited between the endothelial cell and glomerular basement membrane, that is subendothelial, within the glomerular basement membrane, or subepithelial, means between the glomerular basement membrane and epithelial cell, or in the mesangial area. So when The antigen-antibody complex are negatively charged. They can cross the glomerular basement membrane and deposit subendothelial area. When they are highly anionic, it deposited in the subendothelial area, and neutrally charged deposited in the mesangial area. Large circulating complex cleared by mononuclear phagocytic system, and they are not nephritogenic. Now, if they are deposited in the subendothelial region or mesangial region, that is between the endothelial cell and basement membrane, they are accessible to circulation. So, it produces inflammatory process. And if it is subepithelial, it does not come in direct contact with blood. So, it is non-inflammatory. So, it produces membranous nephropathy. So, distinct pattern of localization with whether it is subendothelial or subepithelial is determining feature of the clinical presentation. Now, once this antigen-antibody complex form, they are cleared by the mononuclear phagocytic system. So, glomerular disease are acute and self-limiting when exposure of antigen is for short-lived. But when there is a shower of antigen for prolonged period, it lead to the repeated cycle of injury and it produce chronic glomerulonephritis. Now, once this antigen antibody complex is formed, how it damage the kidney? This antigen antibody complex mainly activate complement system. What is complement system? In the complement system, there are various protein. These protein are in active form, and when they activated, they become enzyme, and it produce membrane attack complex that damage the glomerular basement membrane. So, main is the complement activation. But there is also chemotactic factor that attract the inflammatory cell. Inflammatory cell release their granule. In the granule, inflammatory granule, there is a various enzyme, and this is also responsible for damage to the glomerular basement membrane. There is also activation of coagulation system and thrombus formation. So, once antigen antibody complex form in the circulation or antigen present in the kidney, antibody goes and deposited there, they injure the glomeruli by the various system: complement system, coagulation system, inflammation, chemotactic factor. Now, once this kidney is damaged, how it clinically present? Normally, glomerular basement membrane is not leaky. When this glomerular membrane is damaged by the enzyme and complement, it become leaky, and it allow large amount of protein to loss in urine. When more than 3.5 gram per day protein is lost in urine, there is a hypoalbuminemia. Protein is synthesized in liver. There is compensatory increase in synthesis, but so much large amount of protein is lost. Even with compensatory increase in synthesis of protein in liver, there is hypoalbuminemia. Protein is responsible for a maintenance of oncotic pressure in vessel. So there is decreased oncotic pressure and loss of fluid in the interstitial space that lead to the edema. And with the increased synthesis of the protein, there is increased synthesis of lipoprotein. So patient had hyperlipidemia and also lipiduria. So this constellation of finding, proteinuria, hypoalbuminemia, edema, hyperlipidemia and lipiduria, is known as nephrotic syndrome. Second clinical presentation is nephritic syndrome. Here the glomeruli is inflammatory and glomerular basement membrane become leaky. There is a large damage. So hematuria or red cell is lost. And there is also hemoglobinuria. So patient has a coca colored urine and red cell cast and dysmorphic RBC present in the urine. So nephritic syndrome mainly characterized by hematuria and nephrotic syndrome mainly characterized by proteinuria. These are the two main symptoms in the glomerular disease. Now once patient come to us, which laboratory investigation we do for the diagnosis? Most important, urine examination. Proteinuria, protein is lost. So large amount of protein is lost, more than 3.5 gram per dl when patient has nephrotic syndrome. And when patient has nephritic syndrome, hematuria and hemoglobin present with the red cell and red cell cast. When we do serum protein examination, there is a hypoproteinemia and hypoalbuminemia. Lipid profile show hyperlipidemia. And once we diagnosed it as a nephrotic syndrome or nephritic syndrome, we need to do renal biopsy. So we take the piece of their kidney and we examine it under microscope. In case of renal biopsy, we do the light microscopic examination, immunofluorescent microscopic examination and electron microscopic examination. In light microscopy, we do the routine HNE staining and various special stain we do for the renal biopsy, mainly PAS and reticulin stain. So what are the findings in light microscopy? One is a hypercellular glomeruli. There is a increased cell, inflammatory cell or proliferation of endothelial cell. Second is a crescent formation. Crescent formation is proliferation of parietal epithelial cell that obliterate the Bowman space. As we already discussed, Bowman space is the space in which urinary filtrate first appear. With the proliferation of parietal epithelial cell, it obliterates the Bowman space. So there is a rapid decline in the urinary output. It is a finding of rapidly progressive glomerulonephritis. Third is the thickening of glomerular basement membrane. This is due to deposition of immune complex or deposition of plasma protein or amyloidosis. On the light microscopy on the HN stain, it is difficult to appreciate thickening of the glomerular basement membrane. For that special stain we do. One is a PAS stain that give the magenta color to the glomerular basement membrane, and second is the reticulin stain that give the black color to the glomerular basement membrane. Halinosis and sclerosis. This is the end stage. collagenization and plasma protein deposition and obliteration of the capillary loop. So on light microscopically, thickening of glomerular basement membrane, hypercellular glomeruli, crescent formation or hyalinization and sclerosis. Now we also do the immunofluorescent microscopy. By the immunofluorescent microscopy, we localize the antigen antibody complex at the site of deposition. It gives two types of the appearance, linear and granular, depending on the linear deposition or granular deposition. And we do the electron microscopic examination that give the electron dense deposition of immune complex that may be localized in the subendothelial area, subepithelial area or mesangial area. So this is the glomerular disease. Take home message of this lecture is glomerulonephritis are classified in primary, secondary and hereditary disease. Mainly primary glomerulonephritis are immune mediated disease. Antigen antibody complex may form in the circulation or antigen present in the glomeruli that may be planted or in situ antigen. Antibody form and that are deposited in this area and antigen antibody complex damage the glomeruli by the complement activation and glomerular basement membrane become leaky. If protein is lost, it produces nephrotic syndrome. If RBC is lost, in case of inflammatory damage, there is a nephritic syndrome. And proteinuria, hematuria, hemoglobinuria, and we confirm it by the renal biopsy. Thank you.